I was on the ladder, tightening the last screw. A new security camera, angled across the living room. Routine. Necessary. When I climbed down, I checked the feed on my phone. Crisp. Clear. I rewound a few hours to test the playback, just to see her. And then I saw it. My wife. Alone in her wheelchair. But not helpless. She stood. She stood. Slow, deliberate, like a secret stretching her bones. She walked across the room without hesitation, without struggle. The limp was faint, rehearsed, almost theatrical. Then the door opened. A man entered. Familiar, too comfortable. They kissed, long, deep. Her hands that always trembled with me were steady on him. I froze, screen burning in my palm. The truth played in silence. The woman I bathed, fed, carried for years, walked. And she had never walked toward me. Denial came first. Maybe it was therapy. Maybe today was some miracle, a breakthrough she hadn't told me yet. But her movements weren't clumsy or joyous. They were natural, practiced. This wasn't her first step. It was her true self slipping free when she thought no one was watching. I remembered the nights she sighed, helpless in bed, calling my name just to move the blanket. The mornings when I fed her spoon by spoon, wiping her mouth as she looked at me with wide, grateful eyes. Every detail, every chore, every burden I carried replayed now with a new filter, performance. And the man? My gut told me he wasn't new. The way she leaned into him, the way his hand slid over her hip without hesitation. Years of sacrifice. My life bent around her care. All of it? A stage. And I had been the audience. I didn't confront her, not yet. I became her shadow instead. My silence sharpened into strategy. I checked her pill bottles, half full, untouched. The medication she swore dulled her body into stillness was barely touched. I pulled phone records, calls to an unlisted number during the hours I worked late, long calls, always cut short when I returned. I dug deeper, receipts tucked into drawers, dinners for two, far outside delivery zones, hotel charges. She played her part flawlessly when I came home, always tired, always weak. Her hands shook when I wheeled her to bed, though I knew now they only shook on command. I touched her shoulder, smiled down, kissed her forehead. She looked up at me like a saint enduring suffering, like a victim bound to my care. But her eyes never met mine for long. Guilt flickered, faint as lightning on the horizon, and I let it stay there, because I wanted her to believe the storm would never reach her. The evidence crystallized in one simple, merciless act. I set another camera in the hallway, hidden, angled low. The next afternoon I rewound, and there it was again. She rose from her chair the moment she thought I had gone, walked smoothly, met him at the door, same man, same embrace. But this time I watched her whisper in his ear, laughing. Not weak, not broken, full of life I had never been allowed to see. She was whole, entire, entirely false. When I returned that evening, she was waiting where I left her, still, frail, hands folded neatly in her lap. "Rough day?" she asked, her voice soft, sweet. I looked at her, this actress in my home, this stranger wearing the face of my wife. And I said nothing, only nodded, because I already knew everything I needed. The next morning I played her the footage, quietly, without comment. She watched herself stand, walk, kiss him. Her lips parted, a sharp breath caught in her throat. "Please," she began. I raised a hand. Calm, silent. Her face crumbled. No more performance, no more trembling, just raw panic. "You don't understand," she tried. I didn't. I slid my phone across the table, the file already uploaded, synced, backed up, sent to places she couldn't touch. Her eyes widened, terror blooming. "What did you do?" I leaned back, voice low, even. "Made sure the truth outlives you." That night, she sat in her chair, not pretending anymore, still, silent, waiting for my anger, my explosion. But there was nothing left. Years had been stolen. My youth, my devotion, my strength bled dry into her deception. And now, all I felt was clarity. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't strike her. I didn't need to. The footage was free. The mask was gone. The performance ended. She could sit in her chair for the rest of her life now. Real or fake, it no longer mattered. Because she would never stand again in my eyes. She wanted me blind, but I gave her the gift of mirrors, and left her to choke on her own reflection.